Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today and finding some time out of your busy schedules to attend our webinar. The topic of today's webinar is how to improve the operation and management of your online business. Our session will include a question and answer section after the presentation of our speakers, so please feel free to put your questions into the chat box and we will answer them after the speeches are over. Today's session is hosted and organized by Brightpearl and Promodo companies. Brightpearl is a software for retailers that integrates orders, inventory, and customer data across channels. Promodo company is a multi-channel internet marketing company specializing in e-commerce marketing. We've been providing complex online marketing services for more than 10 years now. Since that time, we have gained Google Analytics and Google AdWords partnership, won a couple of top SEO badges, and partnered with popular e-commerce platforms. Currently, we have over 500 campaigns worldwide, helping our customers solve various online marketing issues they face. So now I would like to introduce our today's speakers. The first speaker is me. I'm an internet marketing specialist with experience in SEO, content marketing, and social media. I have been featured on SEMrush blogs, Smart Insights, Website Magazine, and I'm a frequent speaker at the webinars. So now I think I'm good to begin with my part of presentation. So my speech consists of 3 topics, and I would like to swap them a bit and start with the last 2, which are more easy for perception, and then I will end with the business metrics analysis. So the first topic is mobile. Okay, let's begin with mobile e-commerce. Everybody is talking about importance of optimizing online properties for mobile device users. And not only does percentage of mobile traffic increases day by day, but also Google, as the biggest search engine all online businesses depend on, made a huge move saying that from April 21st, it will decrease the rankings of non-mobile friendly sites and favoring those which offer optimal experience for users browsing on mobile. So on these graphs, you can clearly see that sites which are not optimized for mobile, their rankings are decreased continuously. So as a business owner, what should you do with your site? Obviously, you should optimize it to get more orders from prospects browsing from mobile. So first step, go to Google Analytics and check how much traffic you get from mobile devices. And check those 3 metrics. Bounce rate, which means how many people abandon your site without going to other page, number of pages viewed, and average session duration. If you see that for mobile traffic, those metrics are more weak, then mobile is definitely the channel you should take care of. For more interesting insights, I advise you to get a breakdown of traffic by device and find out which device for users have the poorest experience or the best. To be in control of everything connected with the mobile on your site, my advice also is to make use of awesome pre-made dashboards which bring lots of useful reports and metrics in one place, like this one. Here you can quickly see the revenue generated from mobile visitors coming to your site. You can have a breakdown by the channel. You can see top performing campaigns which worked the best out of your all marketing efforts. You can see organic keywords for which you are being ranked, on-site behavior, mobile devices for which your traffic shows the highest bounce rate, mobile revenue, average order value, and so on and so forth. Really awesome dashboard which I really advise you to follow. So just click this link and in a couple of clicks you will get this dashboard for your Google Analytics account. Actually, Solution Gallery is a saver and it saves your time. Oh, I'm sorry, you need to follow this link to get this dashboard. And here, this is the link to Solution Gallery, which saves you a lot of time and makes analysis very quick and convenient. So visit this gallery and find the other dashboards which you will find useful for your marketing analysis. So big thanks to the author of this dashboard, and those screenshots, they show how you can get this dashboard for your site specifically in a couple of clicks. And that was the first topic. Now let's move to the second one, cohort analysis. Another update which Google made recently in Web Analytics. Cohort analysis is a great report which you might find very useful for analyzing your marketing efforts. And I thought that we should go quickly through it right now. So what is so special about cohort analysis? We all live in a multi-channel marketing world where a marketer applies several campaigns and activities to one group of users at the same time. And as a result, sometimes it gets difficult to understand which marketing activity has brought you the customer. Or you may have another situation. For example, you run a holiday campaign and you would like to determine on which day during ongoing holiday campaign visitors of your site convert into your customers. Probably it happens on the second day or on the third day. So in this case, cohort analysis should be really, really useful. So let's have a closer look at it. How does it work? The method of this traffic analysis groups your site visitors into the groups, so-called cohorts, which is a group of users that share the same characteristic. They all have arrived at your site on a specific date. And all the cohorts, they are tracked separately, and usually it is marked by different color. So let's say the users which this is how the report looks like. So all the visitors which arrived to your site on April 16th will be one cohort. That will be this line. And the users which arrived on April 17th will be another one, and the list goes on. So with this analysis, you can track those visitors separately and check when they converted into your customers. Actually, and those conversions or actions which are important for your business specifically, they are marked by dark blue color in this case. And let's have a quick example to give you a better understanding of this report. So let's say you have started a Facebook marketing campaign on April 20th. And in 2 days, on April 22nd, you see a spike in number of sales on your site. And you think like, oh, this marketing effort seems to pay off so quickly. It brought us so many new customers. But then you go to this cohort analysis and see that those sales which you had on April 22nd, they actually came from users who visited your site earlier, exactly, let's say, on April 18th. And they landed on your site on that date for the first time and converted later, 4 days later. And actually, you can have lots of these kind of situations where this kind of analysis will tell you the truth about what works and what don't. What is more, and actually, please note that, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, you can specify what goals you would like to track. For example, it could be not only sales on your site, but it could be a certain revenue per user, or average session duration, or number of transactions, and so on and so forth. So you can specify what you would like to track. You can also track your site visitors' behavior by day or by week. And the feature which I personally really like is that you can compare the time required for a site visitor to convert into your site customer, or in another way, by different channels. So simply select here different traffic channels or campaigns and compare them one by one. And these are the tables which show different cohorts for different traffic channels. And finally, we are here. The last question for me to cover: business metrics to keep an eye on if you are an online business field. So of course, I I prepared 4 metrics, and of course there could be much more KPIs to monitor and keep an eye on, but I would like to give you at least 4 basic metrics which you can start with. So I would like to note that to be in control of sales operations on your site, you need to enable e-commerce tracking on your site in Google Analytics and set up goals. Goals are events which you can consider as a business result for your specific case. And I wrote a separate document earlier on this topic, and I would advise you to check it out if you don't have e-commerce tracking or goals set up on your site yet. So the first metric is cost of customer acquisition. How much you invested in your marketing efforts to acquire this particular customer or an average customer. It is calculated very simply by dividing total marketing campaign costs related to the customer acquisition by a number of customers acquired. To get clear answers, use the metrics to evaluate different traffic channels, organic or direct, and different campaigns, email, newsletter, adverts, and so on. See how you can check the number of customers acquired with the help of Google Analytics. Set up a goal that will represent a purchase on your site, enable e-commerce, and then go to marketing and then select marketing campaign or source or medium or channel which you would like to evaluate. And one note, there could be repeat purchases occurring on your site, of course. So to avoid any discrepancy, select a default segment in Google Analytics, New Users. Now let's move to the second. Conversion rate, one of the best key performance indicator which says how much relevant traffic you generated from your activities or how well content on your site is crafted to your target audience needs. Both cases are very important and have a direct impact on your revenue. Conversion rate is shown in numerous reports in Google Analytics, but for best results, I would recommend to analyze it for different marketing channels or for different landing pages, because you are not always 100% sure what will work the best in this particular case, what kind of sign-up form, image, content, and trust sign. So for this purpose, test the variance and compare the conversion rate for them. And of course, select the best performing ones. The third metric is shopping cart abandonment rate. If we deal with online retail, we can't miss this metric for sure. Difference between shopping experience at brick-and-mortar store and online generates a wide range of factors which distract users or make impossible to complete the purchase online. So shopping cart abandonment uses the data about the number of shopping carts created and successful purchases, meaning when the user reaches the final point. In Google Analytics, this process is easy to automate and visualize with goal setup. Create a goal in Google Analytics, actually probably 2 goals, one which will track the number of time users visits the URL representing the add to cart action, and another one which will represent the checkout success or thank you page, which users visit after the purchase completion. Use those URLs of those 2 pages to create a funnel in admin panel. When it is done, go to the funnel visualization report and check the numbers. So here, how can you specify and track then a certain page with a certain URL? You need to check especially the end of this particular URL, which is usually visited by the visitor who completes a certain step of funnel of process on your site, and then you need to paste that part here. That will be the first step when the user, for example, adds to cart the product, and then the second step, which in ideal world should be completed once 100%. It should have the part of URL which represents, for example, thank you page or the page with the checkout process. So it will make the tracking possible. So after you have done that, go to the funnel visualization report and check the numbers. You can see the numbers here, how many people added to cart, for example, and how many people proceeded to check out the process. And then you can get those numbers and calculate shopping cart abandonment. Of course, the less rate you have, the better. And average order value. This is the last metric I wanted to talk about today. And not only do you want to get new orders, of course, but you also want these orders to be of good quality and worth your marketing budget and time. This metric is calculated simply by dividing revenue by number of orders taken, and it can be quickly accessed in e-commerce reports. This is where you can see it. And this is where setting up e-commerce tracking is so much important. Of course, average order value for all traffic is too vague, so I would recommend making use of default or custom segments, which would help you filter out those data. So then you will be able to get average order value for different traffic channels, and you will be able to identify the best performing channels from which users come to you and place the biggest orders. So actually, this is what I wanted to tell you today. And I suppose you may have questions. Feel free to drop me a line later or ask them. And now I would like to, actually, I'm happy to give floor to the second speaker of today's webinar. This is a speaker from Brightpearl, Phil Kay. Phil is the head of global partnerships at Brightpearl. He has been at Brightpearl for 2 years now, and he heads up global partnerships after experience running the company's eBay partnership. So now I'm quickly switching the monitor to Phil, and he will start telling about his topics. So 1 second.
Hi everyone, this is Phil. Okay, great. So I want to talk to you about how to improve the operation and management of your online business. And I have a short agenda here which I'd like to show you. I'd like to introduce some elements about what we do in the sector. I'd like to talk to you guys about how to improve managing inventory and orders and so on, and move on to how to improve customer service to ensure a personalized approach to them, and then talk about increasing the visibility overall into your business operations to make better, more informed business decisions. And we can finish off then with any questions and answers that you may have for us. So some of the key challenges that we come across in the organization when we're talking to retailers is that they have difficulty in keeping track of inventory across multiple channels. There are many kind of manual, repetitive processes that incur a lot of inefficiency in the business. There's often diversity in the supply chain which needs controlling. There often is a difficulty in getting real insight and data itself to understand how to make business decisions, particularly around the areas of profitability. And of course, collecting and utilizing customer data to market to customers and generally control them in an efficient way. So Brightpearl was founded by Chris Tanner and Andrew Mulvenna, who founded a company called Lush Longboards while they were at university studying. And while they were growing that business, they found that they were struggling really with utilizing multiple or disparate systems to manage their business when it came to things such as customer records, accounting, marketing, and so on. And so this drove Chris to start writing Brightpearl. And in 2007, they sold that business to focus on Brightpearl fully. And now, 8 years later, we now have over 1,200 customers across the world and employ 80 people in Bristol and San Francisco. So Brightpearl is a multi-channel retail management system serving the SMB sector typically from startup to around about £50 million. We're particularly strong where businesses require an integrated, easy-to-use and cost-effective back-office system for both on and offline channels, such as shops, trade counters, wholesale, phone orders, that are in addition to their online channels, marketplaces, web stores, and so on. We're strong in any traditional retail vertical, really, where inventory is required to be controlled. Example verticals include fashion, homeware, consumer goods, electricals, health and beauty. The system is cloud-based and browser-based, so it can be accessed from any location on any device, which is incredibly helpful for today's business owners, who can benefit from up-to-the-second information literally at any time. I won't go into detail now, but we help retailers manage the heart of their business, bringing orders, inventory, customer data, accounting, and reporting together in one place. And so, if what I say over the next few slides resonates with you in any way, and you feel it might be worth exploring whether Brightpearl could be the right system for you to take your business to the next level, please just send an email to partners@brightpearl.com with the contact details and Promodo in the subject field anytime. I will introduce you to one of my colleagues, for an informal telephone discovery call to see if we can help. So, onto the main subject for this webinar. How do we improve managing inventory? Well, utilizing one centralized hub for in and outbound inventory control is very, very important, because the accurate and well-informed flow of your in and outbound inventory is key to making sure that you maximize your speed of growth. Without a centralized inventory control, this task is incredibly time-consuming for multi-channel retailers. The problems are only exacerbated where businesses are combining on and offline channels together, such as web stores, marketplaces, bricks and mortar, wholesale, phone orders, and direct sales. So, eliminating rekeying of stock data and inaccurate stock levels is very, very important, because it isn't really efficient to be trying to manage all these channels independently from one another when it comes to managing stock levels. And practices sort of vary from tediously updating every channel multiple times each day, monitoring artificially hiked stock levels, or managing independent stock silos for each channel, which by the nature of running a busy retail operation are not only impossible to maintain, but in the latter case, of course, unnecessarily affect cash flow. And as a result, stock outs and double selling occur due to the inability to truly understand what stock is left on each channel compared to what you have available. So, by utilizing a centralized stock control system, one stock level can be shared in real time across all channels simultaneously, whether they are on or offline. And of course, with the automatic allocation of stock to online orders, there is true visibility of stock level across all channels at all times, which vastly reduces the risk of stock outs and double selling. Of course, controlling replenishment is just as important, though, as selling, because if you don't replenish in a timely and informed manner, you potentially risk losing revenue whilst waiting for more inventory to arrive. So, of course, by utilizing reporting which highlights when products have reached forecasted low stock levels, businesses maximize their throughput because the right amount of inventory is coming into the business before stock outs can occur. In addition to managing low stock, there is enormous benefit in utilizing an integrated purchasing system. Not only can purchase orders be created directly from the low stock report, but new lines and suppliers can be introduced and controlled quickly. Supplier deliveries can be monitored easily. Goods in, flows straight through to on-hand inventory. And with an integrated accounting as part of the retail management system, all bookkeeping is taken care of automatically at transaction level without any need for rekeying into an accounting system whatsoever. So moving on to customer service. Of course, the best way to keep a customer happy is to deliver on what they have ordered on time. And real-time stock control goes a long way to ensuring this, of course, by making sure that products can only be bought when stock is actually available, regardless of which channel they have been bought from. Efficiency is facilitated by batch dispatch note creation, consolidated picking, barcode scanning of goods out, and integration with couriers also offer major operational advantages to ensuring a great customer experience. So handling a customer inquiry is of paramount importance to create credibility and reassurance, particularly where there is a problem. Often, advocates can be created out of customers' complaints based on the way that they are handled. So having a database of your customers built in real time from the channels ensures that you can find their details very quickly, along with their complete order history, including any notes and tasks that you set against that customer from anyone in your team, creating complete visibility no matter who is talking to that customer. Being able to handle a refund immediately on inquiry ensures that things don't get forgotten, and of course there is no need to rekey the transaction information into a separate accounting system. Stock can also be released in a controlled manner, whether shipped or awaiting shipping, to make sure stock control is maintained accurately and anything that's coming back into the business is got on hand and ready to sell as quickly as possible. As far as segmenting customers is concerned, I'll talk a little bit more about this a little bit later, but if you are able to simply and quickly target relevant content to your customer groups based on their buying trends via integrated customer reporting and a marketing engine, you are far more likely to create a following of advocates to your brand and maximize repeat and new revenue. Adding another layer to this, why not utilize a VIP price list or specific marketing campaign to incentivize your best customers to keep buying from you once you know how much volume they buy and profit they make you. With respect to wholesale, many businesses fear moving into wholesale due to the uncertainty of on-account customers versus retail upfront and pro forma buyers. It can be incredibly lucrative though, of course, if you can get it right and control it properly, which is why it's so important to manage separate price lists for wholesale and control debt within one system, ideally linked directly to customer records, credit terms and credit limits, and be able to have visibility of a customer's debt position at point of sale. So, with respect to increasing visibility into your operations to make better business decisions, there's lots to talk about here, but on top of the elements already discussed concerning low stock, replenishment, and the associated release of inefficiency and cash flow, getting hold of transactional level data is often very hard where one is relying on journal-based monthly management information. These fast-paced days, information is expected up to the second at any time, anywhere. So being able to capture transactional level data in real time provides much richer insight when it comes to analyzing your next move whenever you want to make it. Having the advantage of the cost of goods sold integrated into a system means that in addition to more typical best-selling product reports, which are very helpful to a degree, you can also really easily understand profitability on a product-by-product basis, making sure that you're concentrating on buying, stocking, and selling the products that are going to help you grow your business more profitably when you have a limited set of resources such as cash to spend on new stock or warehouse space. Of course, a system with an integrated accounting system also allows you to easily monitor the performance of your channels, suppliers, brands, and even customers to make sure that you're investing your time and your money wisely. So ultimately, the bottom line is pretty simple. Utilize tools to make sure that you are concentrating on profit-making activity as opposed to running around shipping out orders that might make you plenty of revenue, but at the end of the day, if you're not maximizing profit, you could be wasting time and money that could be better spent elsewhere. So really, data is king, We believe that the ultimate business acceleration engine comes from harnessing sales and profitability analysis to lever lower cost stock acquisition to drive further sales through targeted marketing to segmented customer groups. I know that sounds like a bit of a mouthful, so let me repeat it. We believe that the ultimate business acceleration engine comes from harnessing sales and profitability analysis to lever lower cost stock acquisition to drive further sales through targeted marketing to segmented customer groups. And all of that can be achieved through an integrated system. So basically, if you concentrate on those products that move fast, have a high profit margin, and lots of customers buying them, you know you are going to ever increase profitability and can therefore utilize this to further drive margin by acquiring more stock at lower cost. This begins to work very powerfully the more products you have, of course, as it becomes increasingly difficult to do this in one's head. I appreciate also that not all of your businesses will exactly fit the type of model that I'm explaining here in these slides. So I hope that there is something that is of value in them for all of you that are listening. So I hope this has provided some insight into what Brightpearl is trying to do to help independent retailers maintain and gain a foothold in their world. As mentioned earlier, we're more than happy to help if you feel that Brightpearl could help your business. We appreciate that every business is so very different that it is impossible to be relevant to everybody. But where you feel there might be some value and some resonance here and the kind of benefits we've been talking about, please do reach out and we will talk to you further. So thanks ever so much for your time. I hope it's been of use, and we look forward to hearing any questions you may have now or via email at any time at your convenience. Thanks again for your time. I'll hand back over to
Thank you, Phil, really much. So while you were talking, I got some feedback from the guys who are listening us right now. They said that they would wish to also hear some tips on how to use your product for the existing users. So I think that might be a good point or a good idea for future presentations from you guys. So far, I don't see any other questions from our audience, but please feel free to contact Phil or me and send your questions our way. We will be happy to answer and help you. And also, I would like to note that all the presentation materials, the presentation and the webinar recording will be sent to your email addresses shortly. And the last thing I would like to mention today is that we have a nice present from Promodo company, free online marketing audit for all our listeners of today's webinars. So if you feel that you are stuck with your online marketing efforts and you feel that you could use some help and advice, please feel free to fill out the form and request free personalized webinar, which will usually take from 20 to 30 minutes, and we will help you to audit your site for SEO, PPC, and usability issues. So feel free to follow this link and request your free expert session. Also, we encourage you to follow us on social media, to follow Brightpearl and stay in touch with us, because we will be providing and launching new webinars, so stay tuned. And thank you so much for your attention today. It was a pleasure for us. Stay tuned and have a great rest of the day. Goodbye.